Welcome back to KSSH News at Noon. I'm Kelly Lolliker.
And I'm Emily Radke.
Our spring break was lovely, but it's way better to be back.
I'm pumped.
School, yeah!
Let's do this.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Prom, Girl Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Let us begin. Emerson Oliver.
I volunteer as tribute!
Oh, goody. Nina Joshi. Daniel Alvarado. Trevor Newton. Natalie Titchcombe. Tyler Harris. Alex Vasquez. Ruby Lee. Here are our tributes. Happy Prom, Girl Games.
Excellent! Oh my god! Okay, great! Oh my god!
Smoking is not a joke.
It'll make you choke.
Hey Sue, I'm Holly Smith.
And I'm Danielle Johnson, and this is Kick-Ash.
A few weeks ago, 4 of our journalism students traveled to Camarillo for a non-smoking convention. Here they learned about secondhand smoke and the effects it has on society.
I'm breathing secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke. Sometimes I feel like I wanna choke.
Let's check back with Amber Giardini and Natalie Steele with our lucky prom contestant.
We're back, Santa Sue. I'm Amber Giardini.
And I'm Natalie Steele. And in this week's final episode, we're going to be watching the 3 contestants fighting to be Kim's prom date.
Bachelor number 1, how much money do you make? Bachelor number 2, how much money do you make?
A lot, like a lot, like enough to, at 7.
Contestant number 3, how much money do you make?
Bachelorette, that shouldn't even be a question because you know that I make cake.
Contestant number 2, what car are you gonna take me in?
Oh boy, don't even get me started on my sweet ride. It's a 93 Honda Civic. That thing will go flying at least 45 miles per hour.
Bachelor number 3, what car are you gonna take me in?
I'm gonna take you in an Escalade. Duh.
Bachelor number 1, what car are you taking me in?
Contestant number 1, how do you feel about winning?
If I were her, I wouldn't date me either.
Wow, what a show. Who knew that she would choose Ruby Lee? Tune in next time.
There is no next time.
Okay, well, just tune in never.
We asked this reporter to investigate the effects of violence in the movies.
Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, Columbine, Aurora, Colorado, and recently a lockdown here in Simi Valley at Justin Elementary due to graffitied death threats on the walls. Violence in movies and video games is a hot topic these days, but does the subject matter we watch really affect how we behave?
This is Michelle Valdivieso, our school psychologist.
So, what do you have to say on the subject of violence in media?
There isn't a whole lot of research right now that shows any direct correlation between violent video games and violent behavior. But there are research studies that show that the more you're exposed to video games like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, World of Warcraft that have repetitive, pretty blatant and graphic violent scenes, that people become desensitized to that, and it could alter your decision-making skills. And so in real-life situations, that type of aggressive behavior or acting out behaviors can be normalized for the person. When you take into account that parents are usually working and not supervising the amount of time kids are playing video games, it's hard to determine what long-term effects it'll have on these individuals as they grow up to be adults.
What is the link between mental illness and violent tendencies?
There is no research to indicate that mental illness and violence are correlated or linked together. Nobody can determine who's going to commit a violent act, whether you have a mental illness or not. I think that the media has tried to hype up in the last few months with some of the things that have happened in our country with violent behavior and trying to link it to mental illness, but most mentally disabled individuals are not out to hurt or harm people intentionally.
Now Mr. Golden with his opinion on violent movies.
Okay, so I don't like when they have movies that show violence and there's no consequence. There's no ramifications of the violence. And when I see a film where a whole building blows up and then Bruce Willis swings by with his machine gun, he's like, throws some one-liner, and then it's like, it's exciting, it's fun, and there's no feeling of like, oh my God, the building blew up, there was probably hundreds of people who just died, and it doesn't mean anything. When I see violence in movies, I want to be upset by it, I want to be hurt by it, because violence is hurtful, and violence does, affect people. And if a film shows violence in a way where you feel it, where you're like, oh God, this is horrible, I don't want to see it, I think that's a better way to show violence, because what that does is it puts in the audience a sense of empathy or sympathy in the people that they're watching on screen. And I feel like violence is part of nature, part of life, and I don't think you should censor violence. I don't think if something is violent, you shouldn't look at it. But if you do show it, you have a responsibility to show the ramifications of it. Something has happened with the MPAA recently. There are PG-13 movies that are so much more violent than a PG-13 movie was 10, 15 years ago. And it seems like the MPAA is much more liberal with violence. They're allowed violence in films, and they're much stricter with nudity or sex. And that's one of the things that really concerns me right now, is that our society has become way more permissive for violence to be seen in movies. And on television violence has gotten so much more violent than when I was growing up. And I just think about if I was 8 years old and I caught an episode of The Walking Dead, I think I would be disturbed forever. And I just feel like the access of violence is so much greater now than it used to be. And I think that's kind of part of the problem, is the access. And it's not just television, it's not just movies, it's the internet. Because kids can get anything on the internet at any time. And unless your parents are really strict with your access, it really makes it very, very dangerous. I think that you can do great things with the media, and you can also do dangerous things, especially if you're not aware of the violence that you're portraying on people and the effect that violence has on people.
One of our own teachers here at Santa Sue has been nominated for a Grammy.
Bevan Abbey. Teacher. Friend. Wife. And mother.
Happy birthday, baby Ezra.
And also Grammy nominee.
What?
Yes, Mrs. Abbey. The 55th Annual Grammy Award telecast announced that the Grammy Foundation and the Recording Academy are partnering to present the first ever Music Educators Award. Although she's already been nominated, the more nominations the better. Go home and go to www.grammyintheschools.com. Then click on the link Nominate Your Music Teacher, fill out your information, and then submit. It's that easy. Now you only have until April 15th. Good luck, Mrs. Abbey.
Dream schools cost a nightmarish amount of money.
Going to one is fantasy for most of us.
So here's Allison Porter with an option to achieve that dream.
Hey Santa Sue, Allison Porter here to help you get free money for college.
What are some of the best ways to find scholarships?
Oh, there's a lot of different ways you can find scholarships. There's books in the public library. There's books in the bookstore. I have books here in the Career Center. There's scholarship search engines out there. You can literally Google scholarships and you're going to get scholarship search engines. One way is you come into the Career Center here, and I have a scholarship book, and the best thing you can do is open it up and you read, you look at the deadline, and you say, oh, that deadline hasn't passed. Do I qualify? This one's open just to seniors, so I'm not a senior, so I would skip over and I would read, and if I do qualify for something, I take an app out of my box.
Do you have any tips for filling them out?
One major tip I would give you is take your time, pay attention to the question. Oftentimes, this happens with applications for employment as well. You're not paying attention to the line and it asks for your name and you're putting your first name and then it said last name there. So it's paying attention to what's being asked for. Writing neatly. I can't tell you how many times I've seen applications come through where it's just willy-nilly. It looks like they rushed through it. That doesn't look to the people that it mattered to you.
That was interesting. Hey, what do school officers do anyway?
Let's find out. Hey Santa Sue, Emily Radke here. Student council elections are coming up, but have you ever wondered why we actually have them?
We act as a liaison between the student body and administration on campus, and so if the student body has certain needs or wants, then as a leadership class we address those needs and wants with the administration.
So what kind of community service do you do for the school?
You know, we always do canned food drives. We just finished a very successful one up. We do at least 2 a year. We also put on campus beautification days where we try to clean the campus up and make Santa Susana a nice place to come to.
So how important is it for the student body to vote?
I think it's imperative that they vote. Those representatives are going to represent you guys. And so you really want someone in that position that's going to listen to you, find out what it is that you want to happen here at Santa Susana, and to implement those needs and those wants.
Elections are next week, so don't forget to vote for your next student council members. Back to you in the studio.
Is there no limit to the number of prom commercials we'll run this show?
None.
I gotta get this promo done. Like today.
You have got to come see this. This could be my promo.
All this election talk is leading up to next week's show,
our election special.
You'll hear about all the candidates just before you vote in the latter part of TAP.
And that's the way it is.
April 4th, 2013. Have a great day, Santa Sue.
Hey Santa Sue, prom is just days away and it's time for you senior troubadours to get your groove on.